Hey everyone, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. Asylum seekers in Portland have to be out of that makeshift shelter at the expo by mid-August. So where are city leaders with temporary housing? We'll tell you.
And the state launches a new effort to see how many fire departments across the state are using firefighting foam that contains a toxic chemical known as PFAS.
Yeah, so it's back to work after a week off. Were you on vacation too last week? Great week for it. It's tough getting back to work sometimes though, isn't it? Coming up, we have some tips on how to kind of gently ease your way back into the workflow. This is News Center Now. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Nelson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Welcome back
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank
you
Glad
all
to be
for
back.
being with us tonight. It's been 1 month since the first round of asylum seekers arrived in the city of Portland. To this day, more than 300 people have been processed through the city.
It's a lot. Over the weekend, some of you at home reached out to us about where Portland leaders were with the cost of things and housing. So our Samantha York has been following this right from the beginning. She joins us now with an update. Hey, Sam.
Hey guys, yeah, we're still waiting for the figures on the exact cost to the city. Officials say they're actively working to get those numbers for us now. But in the meantime, we're learning more about what's called Phase 2. We're finding temporary housing for these families since asylum seekers are required to be out of the Portland Expo by mid-August. For the last few weeks, this has been the temporary home for asylum seekers arriving in Portland. But people like Christina Egan with the Greater Portland Council of Governments are working to change that.
We need to find temporary and permanent housing for our new neighbors.
Her agency is teaming up with city leaders to find affordable and long-term housing for families seeking asylum through their new Host Homes program. So far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, with more than 60 people inquiring about helping.
We're hoping that we can use the energy that's coming from the community right now and translate it into long-term solutions to make sure that we have housing for all people in our region.
Their goal is to initially work with faith-based groups and then partner with local families in the area looking to provide shelter for families seeking asylum.
The faith communities have been working on this for years, and they have an established network of finding host families and being able to quickly place asylum seeker families.
With the deadline to get asylum seekers out of the Portland Expo quickly approaching, Egan and others are confident they will be able to find a solution. It's just going to take a little more time.
The issue here is that the region is already suffering from a lack of housing. And so when you layer on top a bunch of new families that need housing, we're layering it on top of an existing crisis.
Now, they are still taking applications from families who are looking to assist. The goal is to place a good majority of these families with hosts who live near public transportation. Now, later this week, I'm going to be bringing you to Yarmouth, where 3 churches have actually come together to help asylum seekers in their own community. It's a program that city leaders here in Portland hope to mirror. Guys, back to you.
All right, sounds great, Sam. I know you'll continue to follow the story too. Thanks a lot.
So I was trolling Keith's social media over the weekend, and I couldn't relate more. I can't usually relate to his tweets, but he had the one where all made her stepping outside this morning, and it was a pumpkin head guy dancing.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Because it literally felt like fall.
I had to block Keith.
Yeah, I've been muted. I'm like, you know when people are like happy that a celebrity blocked them?
There it is, yes!
Yeah, look at that.
Nice, Isaac. I love that Isaac had that ready to go.
You could tell when I came back from the lake because all of a sudden I started trolling people left and right. And,
That was me though. I seriously was about to go order the pumpkin spice latte.
Now Lee actually liked it when it was 175 on Saturday. He preferred that kind of weather, but yeah, most of Maine was happier.
It was only 142 at my house.
Yeah, that's true. You're in the shade, but yeah. And today was another one of those crisp-ish days. But more warm still, 81, 80 in Portland, 81 in Lewiston, all very uniform temperatures here. Freiburg at 83 degrees. Current temperature similar, though right along the immediate water we do have some low 70s there, but most of us hanging around 80 degrees here late afternoon and into the evening, and then 80 81 in Bangor and 81 in Plymouth as well. So nice late afternoon, evening, and a nice looking day tomorrow too. Look at the visible satellite. Nothing going on at all. Bright blue skies, much like what we had yesterday. There's no upward rising air because it's so dry at the surface. So there's a difference in what it looks like when it's humid versus what it looks like when it's drier like this. The real heat is trapped down across the southeast right now, but it will make a gradual return. In fact, tomorrow a lot of us will be in the upper 80s. Dew points will be creeping up, but they won't quite be oppressive yet. So tonight looks good. Temperatures drop in most spots into the 50s, and so it's comfortable sleeping weather. To me, if you can get below, well, it depends on the humidity a little bit, but if you can get below 65, you're in good shape for sleeping. And then tomorrow, start dry and end up at those temperatures, guys, in the upper 80s. Don't worry, Lee, we're going to bring the humidity back later in the week. We'll talk about that. And the weekend, because it's Monday.
Right.
Might as well talk about it.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to. Thanks, Keith. See you in a bit.
All right, checking out some headlines this Monday. The Justice Department has replaced the legal team charged with finding a legal path forward for including a citizenship question as part of the 2020 census. A Trump administration official says the new team might find it easier to argue the administration's position. The president is pushing for a citizenship question on the census despite the fact the Supreme Court has barred the question.
The aftershocks in California continue. In fact, large back-to-back quakes rattled some remote desert communities today and put the rest of California on notice to be ready for maybe another massive jolt, maybe in a big city this time. Scientists say a big one in a major city, maybe San Francisco or Los Angeles, could collapse bridges, buildings, freeways. Could also cause fires because of ruptured gas lines. Nobody was seriously injured in the quakes on Thursday and Friday, which were centered in a remote area of the Mojave Desert.
Great news for Teddy Bruschi. The former Patriots linebacker says he's doing much better after suffering a stroke on the 4th of July. On Instagram, he shared a post saying a big thank you to all his fans for their kind thoughts, and he also shared the 6 major warning signs of a stroke. Teddy's first stroke was back in 2005, and he retired for a while, but then returned to play 3 more seasons for the Patriots. He's now a commentator for ESPN.
Yeah, really glad he's doing well. Patriots favorite for all time,
Yeah,
right?
he's so sweet
Yeah,
too. I had the
love that guy.
opportunity of meeting him once. Very nice guy.
Awesome, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. Hey, working group created to investigate the amount of PFAS chemicals in foam used by Maine fire departments is taking its first course of action. The so-called forever chemicals can't break down, according to the EPA, and they're linked to adverse health effects like low infant birth weight and even cancer.
The Maine Emergency Management Agency will soon begin surveying fire departments all across the state. This is the latest state effort to get a better picture of how much PFAS is out there.
We use firefighting foam for liquid fires.
At South Portland's fire department, foam is carried on the engine and stored in big blue barrels.
It's really hard to put out a liquid fire with plain water. So what foam does is it actually acts as a blanket between the fuel and the air, takes the oxygen away, and thereby extinguishes the fire.
Outside the department, there's a lot more of it in the city.
We have definitely the largest amount of foam in the state.
An estimated 10,000 gallons. The department alone has 2,500 gallons. The rest is located at the oil storage facilities located in the city in the event of a fire. And a fire there would require a certain type of foam to extinguish. Class B foam, or AFFF, which contains toxic PFAS compounds.
They may potentially contaminate the air, the soil, and the water, and we're actually seeing long-lasting impacts from that contamination.
The Maine Emergency Management Agency is now working to get a clearer picture of how much is out there and where it's been used. Every fire department in the state will soon receive a MEMA survey. Critical information to hopefully mitigate contamination until a replacement is discovered.
Unfortunately, right now it's the best tool that we have to use for those types of fires, but obviously if there's something safer out there, we want to use that.
In March, Governor Janet Mills created a PFAS task force. Members are working to identify contamination sites in Maine and come up with solutions to mitigate the impacts of exposure. After that motorcycle crash in Randolph, New Hampshire that killed 7 riders, we have talked a lot about motorcycle safety.
Boy, we sure have. And today, the Maine Department of Transportation posted a pretty powerful picture of a group of 4 motorcycles that could not be seen in the mirror or blind spots of that truck. The post also had a reminder saying that motorcyclists are some of our most vulnerable roadway users. No matter what you drive, please share the roads. Absolutely. For those Americans who think retirement is completely out of reach, well, you're not alone. According to a new poll from the Associated Press and NORC Center for Public Affairs, 1 in 4 Americans say they will never retire. The research reveals that 23% of workers, including nearly 2 in 10 over the age of 50, say they don't plan to stop working. Government data shows that as of June, about 1 in 5 people 65 and older were employed or actively seeking jobs. Experts say there are a variety of reasons that often force older workers to retire before they want to: injury, illness, layoffs, and caregiving responsibilities. Coming up, 2 big companies have teamed up to help give customers an easier time when it comes to making returns when you buy stuff.
Interesting. Apple is also thinking of making some changes, getting rid of passwords for its iCloud website. We'll learn more about what the tech giant has planned instead. Passwords are slowly becoming a thing of the past.
Meaning we may soon be able to sign into the iCloud website without having to enter a password at all. Apple is reportedly testing an iCloud site that allows users to sign in with face recognition or a fingerprint. Experts say both are more convenient and more secure than manually entering your information. The new feature is related to the new Sign In Apple feature that's launching in September with their new operating systems. MoviePass is temporarily suspending its service.
Why? Well, the company says it's working to improve the subscriber experience. It works to, according to Variety, MoviePass is working on a new version of its app and it's fixing technical issues. So during this process, MoviePass will not be accepting any new subscribers. In a tweet they sent out today, the company said the process will take several weeks. MoviePass says current subscribers won't be charged during the temporary shutdown and will be credited for the number of days impacted once the service goes live again. Also today, Kohl's starting to accept Amazon returns at more than 1,000 stores nationwide, including here in Maine.
Yeah, Kohl's is going to pack your items and ship them right back to Amazon for free. The company tested this program earlier this year in about 100 stores, and we told you about that when it happened. Just go to Amazon's online return center, select the Kohl's drop-off option to get a special barcode. Then you bring the items to a Kohl's store, and they'll take care of the rest. Up next, we're going to learn some tips on how to avoid those back-to-work blues after your well-earned vacation time.
And Keith is back from his vacation as well. Hopefully some more good news weather for the Weather Center. Well, summer is usually a very popular time to use those vacation days.
Absolutely, which I did last week. Getting back from vacation right into work mode can be tough.
Yeah, how are you
sometimes.
feeling today?
Actually, I'm doing okay.
You okay?
Well, talk to me tomorrow.
Okay.
But tonight we do have some tips on how to kind of ease back into that workflow.
Returning from vacation or even a long holiday weekend can be a bummer, but there are things you can do to ease the returning to work blues. Let's connect the dots. This probably goes without saying, but returning to work after some well-earned days off can be stressful. Doctors blame not just the sense of loss from the fun times being over, but also our tendency to go overboard on vacation, eating and drinking way too much. So how can you get over the hump? Experts recommend easing back into work. On the morning you're set to go back, make a list of what needs to be done and prioritize what needs to be done right away. It also helps to bring a little piece of vacation back with you, anything from a trinket to a picture. Psychologists have found simply reminiscing about a vacation can help you recover from fatigue. And remember to take breaks. Going from vacation mode to full-on work mode can lead to burnout. Taking just a few minutes every couple of hours to decompress and relax. Remember, a happy employee is a productive employee. Connecting the dots, I'm Adam Bennett for H-Town Rush.
Yeah, just take tons of breaks, right, Keith?
That's what we do.
Yeah,
Here's the thing
super
too.
ton breaks.
And life doesn't always work out this way, but this is why when my dad, when I was younger, was like, try to do a job you like. If possible, do a job you like. Therefore, I've not once, when I've done this job, been like on Sunday night,
You don't have the Sunday
I gotta go
scaries?
back. No, because I like weather.
That's awesome.
Is that what you call them,
weather.
the Sunday scaries?
Yeah.
I still feel like I got to get prepared for school again when the fall comes, and I've been out of school for 6 or 7 years now, so.
About that.
Yeah.
And look, summer vacation is obviously better than most work, but I've just never been like, man, I hate this job.
No, I'm right there with you.
That's good. I briefly felt that way at an unnamed company, so I'm back. So that's how it works.
I wonder where that was.
Oh, luckily
unnamed but searchable online.
Yes. All right, so we did pretty well today. Got into the 80s. Most of us are still there. 76 though in Portland, 78 in Wiscasset. Kicked a little bit of a late sea breeze, but it's still really comfortable, even along the immediate coastline. Dew points are comfortable too, 40s, 50s. As Lindsay mentioned before, yesterday morning was just a huge transition in air mass. So we're with that today. Half of tomorrow is pretty comfortable, then we start to bring that humidity back. That's the default state of the atmosphere this time of the year. It wants to be more humid, and so these breaks are going to be usually short-lived. Satellite looking good. It's going to be clear overnight tonight and clear through most of the day tomorrow as well. Hour-by-hour forecast showing you temperatures dropping into the 50s. Again, comfortable sleeping weather. Now tomorrow's a hot day because the wind direction is offshore. We don't have any sea breeze. I think we get into the upper 80s in a lot of spots tomorrow afternoon, and the dew points are just about average at that point. It stays mostly sunny through the day, and then overnight it's clear, and then again on Wednesday we pretty much keep it the same. It's mostly sunny to partly cloudy, temperatures in the mid-80s. Wednesday's a bit more of a sea breeze along the coastline. Thursday, again, partly cloudy, and it's not until either late Thursday night or into Friday that some thunderstorms start to move in. So again, we get the balance of the week nice and dry. I just wanted to show you this because we got burnt with this a couple times this year. There's some wildfires up in Canada. There's this product that it's experimental technically, but it shows you where the smoke might go. And it looks like there could be some over Maine tomorrow. So just want to keep that in mind. It'll be mostly sunny, but there might be a little high smoke haze out there from those wildfires. And burned me once, but not 2 or 3 times because I started to look at this product. It's happened a few times this summer. All right, so a good looking stretch all the way again through Thursday. It's probably either Thursday night or Friday morning that these thunderstorms come through, and then we should be able to clear out mostly in time for the weekend. Guys, if you liked last week, you'll like the mid-range signals because they're pretty ridgy, pretty hot. Some good signals that we might try to run some more up into the low 90s after this week here. So summer's here. Funny how that happens. Again, those thunderstorms slated for either late Thursday night or into Friday. I have a mountain sprinkle on Saturday. It's kind of just cautious. Most of us are going to be dry straight through the weekend. If anything, it'll be like what we had there on Tuesday, where we had just a couple of thunderstorms spatially across the state. But I think the weekend will be good for those of us who didn't take this week off as well.
Good. And as you said earlier too, if you took both weeks off,
then you really
just
hit
the
Right.
jackpot.
Which statistically, like, people take these weeks.
Yes, they do.
My go-to is always early September, but we'll see. It's going to be hard to beat this stretch.
Right.
I know.
Right. Once the kid's in school, that's done though.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I have a kid.
Enjoy it while you
The light
can.
bulb just went off. I just saw it.
I do have a kid. I forgot
Yeah,
about
you
that.
do. Yes, you do. All right, let's move on, shall we? If you count on the News Center Maine app for the latest news and weather, we have a change we want to tell you about. A new app for News Center Maine is hitting the Google Play and App Stores tomorrow. We'll still have the same stories and videos, but it's presented in a more modern way, a lot easier to find and read. The new app is also designed to make finding stuff so much easier.
There's also a feature to personalize the homepage to make sure you see topics that you care about the most. So make sure you download the new and still free News Center Maine app starting tomorrow.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, the hunt for a dress for an autistic girl brought the best out of the internet. It all started when Deborah Price sent out a tweet that said a friend's autistic daughter only wears this dress. Don't judge. Sometimes people can't cope with certain stuff. The problem is that those dresses don't get made anymore. She was looking to buy some more and got more than she bargained for. Some people had exactly what she was looking for and were willing to give it up. Others didn't have it but wanted to see if they could make one that looked like the original. So a lot of people stepped up.
Excellent.
So also this, leave it to monkeys to solve a transportation problem in Japan.
Yeah, check out how they crossed a river here, okay, using Power lines.
Oh, that looks dangerous.
High above the rushing water, witnesses said about 20 monkeys dashed across after some fireworks were set off to scare them away. Obviously, it worked. A fisherman captured this high wire act on his phone. Primates are actually a part of everyday scenery for people who live around there, but seeing this was still pretty darn unusual.
That is unusual.
It's
Super
crazy.
Cool. Yeah, really cool. All right, look who's here with what's coming up at 5:30.
That's right. We got big trouble for prosecutors in the Kevin Spacey groping trial. The accuser invoked his Fifth Amendment right not to testify while he was being questioned about his cell phone, which his attorney now claims is missing. Spacey's lawyer says this case is compromised, it needs to be dismissed. We've got the latest for you. And the last thing that you expect at a garden center is for someone to get shot. But that happened today in the town of Shirley. The alleged shooter and victim are relatives, and police do have a person in custody. So we've got more on those stories all ahead at 5:30.
And a big welcome back to you as well.
Thank you.
Very
Hard,
good.
It is a little hard to come back when the weather is so nice.
Yes.
I know,
yes,
it is.
yes.
We'll see you guys at 5:30. We're
All right.
back after this.
All right, today's Brain Drops is visual. I'm on this nerd list. I'm on a couple nerd lists, but this is a nerd mailing list. And this is like some of the cool weather videos in the past month or so. And this one is actually out of Canada, and it's a hail shaft. And so what you're seeing here is when a thunderstorm has enough updraft, it can produce hail because it basically bounces the hail up into the upper part of the cloud, balanced by the updraft until it gets so heavy it outweighs the updraft and comes down.
Okay.
So the stronger the storm, the more vertical the storm, the bigger the hail will be. Well, this is, they have better sight lines in other parts of the country, so you can see the hail looks like it's just falling right out of the cloud, because it is. It's coming from the upper part of the cloud straight down, and it's overcoming the updraft in the storm. I believe it was Lincoln had some really big hail on Tuesday of this week, which is somewhat unusual for Maine. But the other thing I want to show you with this is hail shafts and rain shafts are one of the most common misidentified tornadoes.
I was going to say, it looks like a funnel cloud forming.
Right. So if you don't watch the motion of it, you can easily be fooled into thinking heavy rain shafts or hail shafts are actually tornadoes or funnel clouds. The key is, are they rotating? So to produce a tornado, the whole bottom of the cloud needs to rotate, and then the actual funnel needs to rotate. If it's not rotating, then it's either rain or hail. That being said, if you're not sure and you're not an expert, just get away from it.
Seek
Worst
shelter.
case scenario, it's a hail shaft.
That does look intense.
But I would think the Lincoln storm had a hail shaft like this, but we have so many trees in Maine, you can't quite get the visual. But severe weather's interesting, but it's not in your backyard, at least. And I got some more nerd links for the rest of the week, so it's going to be all
Stay
visual
tuned. That's
nerd
a tease.
candy. Yeah.
News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.